start the recording. Okay. In the last lecture, fifth unit, we saw some of the models, learning models, and those learning models were very important in order to develop an algorithm, so that these models plays an important role in order to predict the output, or I could say that the future outcomes. So what type of models have we seen in fifth unit? We have seen the first unit as a linear models. Then we have seen the distance model. Then we have seen tree based model, right? Then we have seen some association rule mining. Then we have seen probabilistic model, है ना? And then in the end we have seen also the discriminative analysis using maximum likelihood. So these were the points that we were covered in unit number 5. Probabilistic model, in which we have seen naive Bayes classifier. In case of tree model, we have seen decision tree classifier. And in the linear models, we have seen multivariate regressions. So these are the some of the points that is been carried out in unit number 5. Now we are moving towards the end of this syllabus. We are moving towards the 6th unit, and that is a machine learning applications. That is the applications based on machine learning. So we are a little bit going to see in detail some of the applications. This is completely a theoretical section. The use of machine learning to develop an algorithms, to run some algorithms, to run some applications is going to be very important. So we are seeing a lot of applications being developed based on the machine learning. Now I could say that machine learning is also a little bit going as it is also been on the back foot. I could say why on the back foot, because now deep learning, artificial intelligence, neural networking, all these things are coming into the picture. Even after artificial intelligence, then there is also called as an explainable AI that is coming into the picture. So a lot of things have been changing around in this decade. We are moving very fast, and a lot of things are coming into the picture. So in this, we are going to see few of the applications of machine learning, which are very common applications, right? So as far as the exam point of view is concerned, any one of the applications can come in the exam as a question. So you have to prepare all these 6-7 applications that we are going to see as far as machine learning is concerned. So the first application, we have already touched this application in the unit number 1, that is the email spam and malware file filtering. So malware is also an virus that has been probably moving around. It's quite a tough virus which is very difficult to get rid of. So obviously you need to have that kind of algorithm in order to filter this malware. And as far as the spam is concerned, this is very common. So nowadays you see that the mails which are not important or not of interest have been sent towards the spam. So email spam detection or not spam detection is easier, but the most difficult part is about the malware filtering, because you have to filter out, you first of all have to recognize those malware viruses, and then you have to filter out. So machine learning plays a very important role as far as email spam detection and malware filtering is concerned. So let us see step by step how these are considered by machine learning and can get rid of all these things. So of more than 300 billion emails are sent every day. So this is the statistical figure. Mostly if you see that the way the email being used because of the online and all these things, process are getting very faster. So beyond the important emails, there will be some kind of not important, or I could say that useless mails also. So if you could see that the 300 billion emails which are sent every day, out of that half of them are spam. If you could also consider the half of them are as an important, because which are been unluckily or unfortunately sent as a spam. If you consider half, still 25% of the mail are spam. if you could go in that way. So email providers have a huge task of filtering out the spam and making sure that the users receive the messages that does matter. So only the emails which does matter to the user are kept, whereas the other mails are been sent to the spam directly. So spam detection is a very messy. The line between spam and non-spam message is fuzzy, and the criteria changes over the time. So the line between spam and non-spam is fuzzy means what? If you have heard about fuzzy logic is the state which is in between 0 and 1. So there is a very small thin line in between the if it could go to 0 or if it could go to 1. So there is a very small and very thin line which differentiates whether the message is uh, goes to the 1 or it goes to the 0. So it's exactly the same way like the spam and non-spam messages are. They are a little bit fuzzy and it might change over the time. So today, if the spam message is sent in a different way, the other times it might be sent in a very different way. So it is keeping on changing over time. And henceforth, therefore, the spam detection is not that easy as it looks like. From various efforts to automate spam detection, machine learning have so far proven to be most effective and favored approach by the email providers. So that is the uh, uh, most important way of detecting the spam is machine learning. So they are finding it as a very result oriented result oriented application, that is we can say. Although we still have a very spammy emails, a quick look of the junk folder will show how much spam gets weeded out in our inboxes every day, thanks to machine learning algorithms. So if you want to check whether your machine learning is working properly, then you go into your spam boxes, or you may also go into your junk folder. You'll be finding a lot of unwanted messages being stored there. So that means the detection is done in a very nice way. Now, how does it been is carried out? Machine learning algorithms use statistical models to classify data. In case of spam detection, a trained machine learning model must be able to determine whether sequence of the words found in an email are closer to that found in a spam email or safe ones. So how you're going to differentiate whether it is a spam or not a spam? So there are few words which occurs only in a spam and which does not occurs in a not spam. So the machine learning actually picks up those words. Like if in a spam, it may be like lottery, it might be like lucky, it might be like insurance about insurance, it might be like health insurance, it might be like the different kinds of products advertisement. So all these things are being catched by the machine learning algorithm, and then they are been differentiated into a spam or not spam, or whether your message is safe or not safe. So depending upon the sequence of the words found in the email are caught, understanding, and that's where it can easily differentiate between a spam email and not a spam email. Different machine algorithms can detect spam, but one of the gained appeal is about the naive Bayes algorithm. So there are different algorithms which can detect these spams, but most of the favorite is naive Bayes algorithm, because it is based on the Bayes theorem, and the most important that it is a probabilistic model. आपने देखा ना, यूनिट नंबर 5 में हमने देखा कि वो प्रोबेबिलिस्टिक मॉडल पे बेस पे काम करता है, और इसीलिए ईमेल स्पैम को डिटेक्ट करने में नेव बेस क्लासिफायर काफी इजीली काम करता है. So we have seen that it is based on Bayes theorem, which describes the probability of the event based on the prior knowledge. So there will be some kind of knowledge that is been related with the spam and not spam, and it will use that knowledge, use that history of that knowledge in order to detect whether it's spam or not spam. Now, if you look at the Bayes theorem of the naive Bayes classifier, you'll come to know that there are few of the parameters that comes into the probabilistic model. So that is probability of A by B is equal to probability of B by A into probability of A divided by probability of B. So इसमें अगर देखेंगे हम तो तीन चीजें आती है, एक न्यूमरेटर, डिनोमिनेटर और एक आपका इक्वल वाला पार्ट. So इसमें अगर हम देखेंगे तो probability of A is nothing but what we want to predict. So what we want to predict is going to be your probability of A. Then the data we have collected is the probability of B, that is history of B. So probability of A by B will be your main thing of finding the probability concept. So what you want to predict and what you have collected. Then the numerator and denominator term will be what we know from the past observations. So your past observations plus your data to be predicted and data you have collected, these all three things will give you about the spam detection. In case of spam detection, things get a bit more complicated. Our target variables is whether given mail is spam or not spam. That is called as HAM. The features are words or combinations found in the email body. The nutshell we want to find at to calculate the probability that an email message is spam based on its text. So obviously, whatever the content or the sequence of the words that has been found in spam is been detected. So obviously that is this text detection. The catch is here that our feature is not necessarily independent. For instance, consider the terms grilled, cheese, and sandwich. They have a separate meanings depending on whether they successively or different parts of the message. So if you could see that not there are things that which looks dependent but means independent, but not necessarily they are independent. So we have to consider that some of the words which may have a different meaning. Suppose if there is a grilled cheese or sandwich, it looks like it is related with the food, but it doesn't mean that it is related with the food only. So it might be that it might be a different part of the message. Another example in the words is not and interesting. In this case, the meaning can be completely different depending upon what they appear in the message. So जिस तरह से words लिखे जाते हैं उसका और actually उसका meaning होने का difference हो सकता है. There might be differences. So, but even the feature dependence is complicated in text data. The naive-based classifier has proven to be an efficient in natural language processing task if you configure it properly. So obviously, when your text data is also complicated and the feature independence is there as far as the complications in text data is concerned, but still naive-based classifier has been very much efficient in detecting the spam. It is not only for detecting the spam very easily, but it is also very much useful in NLP, that is a natural language processing task. So if you configure it very properly, now you can see that how the spams are detected. So that is a probability of a spam divided by term 1, term 2, term 3. That is what these terms are, nothing but the prior knowledge. Okay, these terms are these terms kya hai? These terms are the data we have collected, and the spam is nothing but that is the what we want to predict. So spam divided by that term is equal to probability of term 1, term 2, term 2, then spam, right, into probability of a spam divided by probability of term 1, term 2. So in this way we can actually develop a logic in detecting the spam. Spam detection is a supervised machine learning problem. This means that you may have to provide a machine learning model with a set of example of spam and ham messages and let it find the relevant pattern that separates the two different categories. So obviously it is a supervised machine learning algorithm. So it is based on the labeling thing. It is based on a label. So it has to it has to give a label as spam and ham messages, and then we have to differentiate it between spam and ham in this way. Most email providers have their own vast data sets of labeled emails. For instances, every time you flag an email as a spam in your Gmail account, you're providing the Google with training data for its machine learning algorithm. Sometimes what happens is that there are different mails that comes into your inbox and which are not important. What you do is that you select them and then you delete them, so it goes into the spam or in the junk box. So from that also the machine learning algorithm can find it out that what are not the important, which are not the important messages, which are not important messages. So it also trains your machine learning algorithm with those data also. So that is also a very unique way of finding out the spam or not spam. Therefore, one of the key steps in developing a spam detector machine learning model is preparing the data for statistical processing. Before training your naive-based classifier, the corpus of spam and ham emails must go through a certain steps. So obviously, before actually developing a spam detector machine learning algorithm or a model, we have to first of all use the naive-based classifier to train train the spam as well as ham messages. That means it has to go through a certain steps, and through these steps it can find out whether these are differentiated as whether these are spam or whether these are ham. So it has to go through the go through few steps. We can remove words that appear both in spam and ham emails and don't help in telling the differences between two classes. So there will be some words which will be same thing, same in spam as well as ham emails, है ना? तो उसमें ऐसा हो सकता है ना कि कुछ वर्ड्स दोनों में भी कॉमन आ जाए, तो वर्ड्स को पहले निकालना बहुत जरूरी है, तभी हम लोग इसको डिटेक्ट कर सकते हैं कि वेदर इट इज अ स्पैम और इट इज अ हैम. We can remove words that appear both in spam and ham emails and don't help in telling the differences between the two classes. So remove those words which are making confusion for the algorithms. These are stop words which includes the terms such as the, for, is, to, and some. So there are some of the words that are really common in both of the things. So please don't consider these words in both of them so that differentiation can be easier. We can also use other techniques such as stemming and lemmatization, which transform words to their base forms. Stemming and lemmatization can help further simplify a machine learning model. So stemmatization and lemmatization are nothing but the technique that transforms the word into their base form. So कोई तो भी एक base रहता है ना word का, उस पे से आपका एक नया word बना रहता है. So base words को वो catch करेगा, इन्हें transform करेगा. ये स्टेमेटाइजेशन एंड लेमेटाइजेशन, तो उससे आपको फायदा हो जाएगा कि कैसे वो स्पैम है या हैम है. When you train your machine learning model or the training data set, each term is assigned a weight based on how many times it appears in spam and ham emails. So the words that are been continuously been used or detected in both ham as well as spam emails, they are assigned weight based on how many times they have appeared. So जितनी बार वो appear हुए उनका उतना weight बढ़ेगा. So weights are given to them. For instances, if win big money prize is one of your feature and only appears in a spam email, then it will be having a larger probability of being a spam. Obviously, it is related with the money prize, so it will be having the maximum probability of being featured into a spam. If important meeting is only mentioned in ham email, then it is included in email that will increase the probability that email is classified as not spam, because the word meeting will come into the picture. So it will take it as a very important. Once you have processed the data and assigned the weights to the features, your machine learning model is ready filter spam. So accordingly, how many times it has appeared, इसको उस हिसाब से उनको weight दिया जाता है. So how many times it has appeared in spam and how many times it has appeared in ham emails, accordingly the weights are assigned to them, and based on that your model starts working. When a new email comes in, the text is tokenized and runs against the base formula. Each term in the message body is multiplied by its weight, and some of the weights determine the probability that email is a spam. So जैसे ही नया मेल आता है तो वो क्या करता है, जैसे ही नया मेल आ जाता है उसके टेक्स्ट को टोकनाइज्ड किया जाता है, यानी उसको टोकन दिया जाता है, एंड देन इट इज रन थ्रू दैट बेस फॉर्मूला. देन ईच टर्म इन द मैसेज बॉडी इज मल्टीप्लाइड बाय इट्स वेट. तो जितने बार वो यूज हुआ है उतने बार उसका वेट बढ़ता जाएगा, एंड द सम ऑफ द वेट्स डिटरमाइन दैट द प्रोबेबिलिटी दैट द ईमेल इज स्पैम. सो इस तरह से पता चलेगा कि भाई सबसे ज्यादा वेट वाला है, मतलब ये बहुत बार आया है कंटिन्यूअसली. सो उस चीज को वो डिफरेंशिएट करेगा एज अ स्पैम. Simple as it sounds, the naive-based machine learning algorithm has proven to be effective for many text classification tasks, including spam detection. So naive based classifier is very much useful in the text classification also. Text classification यानी कि और एक एग्जांपल मैं बोलता हूं कि there is a text which is having a particular meaning, and there is a text which does not have a proper meaning, so it can differentiate that also in that way. Like other machine learning algorithms, naive Bayes does not understand the concept of language and relies on the statistical relationship between the words to determine whether a piece of text belongs to a certain class. So like other machine learning algorithms, it does not understand the language. It does not understand the meaning of the language or the context of the language. But instead of that, as it is a statistical method, it actually relies on the statistical relationship between the words. And that actually determines whether it should be belong to spam or not spam. This means that, for instance, a naive-based spam detector can be fooled into overlooking a spam email if the sender just adds some non-spam words at the end of the message or replace some spammy terms with closely related words. So ऐसा भी हो सकता है, आपको बेवकूफ बनाया जा सकता है, बिकॉज जो स्पैम में जो वर्ड्स आते हैं वो अगर नॉन स्पैम में डाला जाए, नॉन स्पैम में, तो डिटेक्ट करना मुश्किल हो सकता है, ऐसा भी हो सकता है. So you have to look very, you have to find a very, you have to find the words which are very closely related words. Naive Bayes is not only the machine learning algorithm that detects spam. Other popular algorithms also includes a recurrent neural network, that is RNN, जो कि use हो सकता है, and transformers which are efficient at processing sequential data like email and text messages. So these are some of the machine learning algorithms which can be used beyond naive Bayes algorithms, जिसमें से recurrent neural network एक अच्छा है, जो दो न्यूरल नेटवर्क्स है जो नॉर्मली डीप लर्निंग में यूज होते हैं, एक वो आरएनएन है और दूसरा सीएनएन है. सो सीएनएन में फीडबैक नहीं होता है, आरएनएन में फीडबैक होता है. सो ऑब्वियसली अ फीडबैक सिस्टम ऑलवेज प्रूव्स टू बी वेरी गुड. So these are some of the popular machine learning algorithms that can be used for email spam and malware filtering. So this was the application of email spam. So what are the things that we to remember in this is, in order to detect spam and not spam, it is very important because spam detection is a little bit messy. It is there is a very thin line between the spam and non-spam, like a fuzzy, and the criteria changes over the time. And this is the formula. As we know that email spam and malware filtering can be very much easily detected by the naive Bayes algorithm, which is totally based on Bayes theorem and which describes the probability of the event based on the prior knowledge. So you can see that probability of A by B equal to probability of B by A into probability of A upon probability of B. So that is P of A is what we want to predict, P of B is data we have collected, and then the rest of the ratio is what we know from the past observations. So this is also the thing that even through the feature independence, the naive Bayes classifier has proven to be efficient in NLP also. So you can see that the probability of a spam by term 1 term 2 equal to probability of term 1 term 2 of spam by spam into probability of spam upon probability of term 1 term 2. So it is an spam detection is very much a supervised machine learning algorithm. So you have to set an example of SAM and HAM messages and then let it find a relevant pattern that separates the two categories. Okay, these things we have already seen. This is also very important that we have seen, like naive Bayes does not understand the context of the language, but it finds out the statistical relationship between the words to determine whether the piece of the text belongs to a certain class. And there are some of the some of the other algorithms which are very much useful for the spam detection and malware filtering is RNN. It is also very good. Okay, so this was the first application, what we have seen. So we'll little bit get into the second application. We'll just start the second application. Uh, that is nothing but image recognition by machine learning algorithms. So recognizing an image is also a very important applications in defense, also. Um, in a lot of security, private security, information security applications also. There are a lot of things where you required images to be recognized. So in uh, driverless car also we'll be finding these things into the picture, because based on the images and the videos, it recognizes the things and takes a decision. So in self-driving cars is one of the most applications. Then robotics is also very important, where it recognizes the images. And all these things are very important, because unless and until you recognize, you cannot identify it whether it is important or not important. So this image recognition is a very good application, and machine learning algorithms plays an important role in image recognition. The image processing was quite the uh, the very hot topic in few years, right from 2010. But now, as we are been transforming into new techniques and new methods, machine learning has started coming into the image processing and recognition in a very in a close way. So if you find that the image recognition is to be carried out, then what are the things that is required? Image recognition refers to the technologies that identify places, logos, people, objects, buildings, and several other variables in an image. Right. So we are going to identify these things. No, so whether it is important or not important, or whether that data is to be used, is for that thing I need first to recognize the image. Users are sharing vast amounts of data through apps, social networks, and websites. And because as we have been using a lot of internet nowadays, a lot of apps nowadays, social networking apps and websites, so vast amount of data has been collected. Additionally, mobile phones equipped with cameras are leading to the creation of limitless digital images and videos. And as we are having the mobile phones that are built with the cameras, that are inbuilt with cameras, a lot of images, there is no limit, and the limitless digital images and videos. The large volume of digital data is being used by the companies to deliver better and smarter devices of the people accessing. So obviously these digital data which have been collected used by the companies to give a better and smarter services. Or it could be say that attribute in digital video or images. Computer vision is a broader term which includes method of gathering, processing, and analyzing the data from the real world. So in this, if you could say that I said that image processing is by far was the most important from 2010. There was another subject which was uh, coming into the picture, and that was a computer vision. So the computer vision is nothing but about the gathering, processing, or analyzing the data that has been received from the real world. The data is a high dimensional and produces numerical or symbolical informations in the form of decisions. So the data is a high dimensional and produces numerical or symbolical information in the form of decisions. So in order to take any kind of decisions, these data has to be transformed into some form, because they produces a numerical or symbolical information. The major steps in image recognition process is gathering and organizing the data, build a predictive model, and use it to recognize the images. So gathering data and pre-processing the data is by far the most important two steps for recognizing the images. The human eye perceives an image as a set of signals which is processed by visual cortex in the brain. So if you see that how you look at the images, how your brain looks at the images, that means your human eye perceives an image as a signal, which is then processed by your vertical cortex in the brain, visual cortex in the brain. So that has been recognized by the brain. This results in vivid experience of the scene associated with concept and object recorded in one's memory. So you can see that how the pictures are created in your brain and recorded in your memory. Image recognition tries to mimic this process. So same exactly what is happening with your eye and brain in order to recognize an image. Same thing is been done with the help of image recognition method. Computer perceives an image as either raster or vector image. So obviously this computer is going to take the images as a vector image that is in form of ones and zeros. All that what you get is in a vector form, or a raster is the name. So raster images are the sequence of pixels with discriminate numerical values for colors, while vector images are the set of color animated polygons. So ये दो तरीके से वो ले सकता है computers. So that image could be a raster image or it could be a vector image. So the raster image is sequence of pixels with discrete numerical values for colors. So discrete value लेता है वो. और वेक्टर क्या है? It is set of color annotated polygons. So these are the ways that it takes the images as an input. Okay, so I do feel so we'll take this into the next lecture. Yes, any questions? Okay, we'll go with the attendance. A, roll number 1,
Present, sir.
2,
Present, sir.
B,
Present, sir.
4, 5,
Present, sir.
6, 7,
Present, sir.
8,
Yes, sir.
9,
Present, sir.
10, 11,
Present, sir.
12, 13, 14, 15, 16,
Present, sir.
17, 18, 19, 20,
Present, sir.
21,
Yes, sir.
22,
Present, sir.
23,
Present, sir.
24,
Present, sir.
25,
Present, sir.
26,
Yes, sir.
27, 28, 29, 30,
Yes, sir.
31,
Yes, sir.
32, 33,
Present, sir.
34, 35,
Present, sir.
36,
Present, sir.
37, 38,
Present, sir.
39, 40, 41,
Present, sir.
42,
Present, sir.
43,
Present, sir.
44, 45,
Present, sir.
46,
Yes, sir.
47,
Present.
48, 47 is there, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53,
Yes, sir.
54,
Yes, sir.
55,
Yes, sir.
56, 57, 58, 59,
Yes, sir.
60, 61, 62, 63.
Present, sir.
Okay.
So present.
Okay. 64,
Present.
65,
Present, sir.
68,
Yes, sir.
69,
Yes, sir.
70. Okay.
Yes, sir.
70. Okay. 71,
Present.
72.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any other number that is missing out here?
Sir, 65.
65 आहे.
14, sir.
14 पण
44.
44 पण आहे. 14 पण आहे.
806, sir.
06 पण आहे.
69.
69 पण आहे. Okay. We'll go with the B.
Sir, 44.
आहे. 44 पण आहे. Okay.
44.
44. ठीक है ना है. We'll go with the B. Roll number 1,
Present.
roll number 2,
Present, sir.
3, 4,
Yes,
5.
sir.
Okay, 5, 6,
Present.
7, 8,
Present, sir.
9,
Present.
10,
Present.
11, 12, 13,
Present, sir.
14,
Present, sir.
15,
Present.
16,
Present, sir.
17,
Present.
18,
Present.
19,
Present.
20,
Present.
21,
Yes, sir.
22, 23,
Present.
24,
Present, sir.
25,
Present, sir.
26,
Present.
27, 28,
Present, sir.
29,
Present, sir.
30,
Present.
31, 32, 33.
31. Present.
Okay, 31 is there. 33,
Present, sir.
34,
Present, sir.
35, 36,
Present, sir.
37, 38, 39,
Present.
40, 41, 42,
Present.
43, 44, 45, 46, 47,
Present, sir.
48, 49, 50,
Present, sir.
51, 52, 53,
Present, sir.
52 is there.
Yes, sir.
53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59,
Present, sir.
60,
Yes, sir.
61, 62, 63,
Yes, sir.
64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69,
Present, sir.
70. Okay. Any number missing out here?
Roll number 5.
58 mic problem, sir.
Okay, 58 पण आहे.
Hello, sir.
हा,
32, sir. Mic problem है.
32. Okay.
5.
Hello.
35.
35 आहे.
17.
17 पण आहे.
10.
10 is there. A61 आहे.
18.
18 आहे.
B27.
B27 पण आहे.
20, sir.
20.
Hmm.
Okay, आहे. Okay. So we'll stop here. Thank you.